Greetings, chess fans! My name is Arturs Neiksans. I'm the leading Latvian chess grandmaster, and I'm continuing my video series about inside the mind of a grandmaster. In these videos, I'm talking about my experiences I'm experiencing from traveling abroad, playing in international and competitive chess tournaments, and also chess leagues. So this game I played previous Sunday, depending whenever you're watching. And it was my second game of the year 2025. My opponent was Alexander Motylev. He is well respected and well known chess grandmaster from Russia. I believe right now he represents Romania, but lives in Belgrade. I think so, at least. Very nice guy. And also a former European individual champion, if I'm not terribly mistaken, year 2014. But mainly, he is a well-known chess coach and literally a walking encyclopedia of very advanced knowledge. So I was thinking, what should I play against this guy? And by the way, the match was a very, very important one because I was representing team Schachfreunde Berlin. He was playing for team Wolfhagen, and this was a clash of two leaders who were spearheading the second Bundesliga, and only one, at least I think so, maybe technically also, a second team can qualify to the highest division, the strongest team event in the world. And in the first division, you already know, Magnus Carlsen, Fabiano Caruana, and all the Dommaraju Gukesh, of course, the current world champion. They are playing there, and it's just a very nice company to be in. So this was the Sunday morning game, played at 10 a.m. And I'm thinking what to play against such a legend of the game. So I decided, okay, whatever, I'm going to play d4. And I noticed that Motylev is a big expert of the Slav. So I was expecting that he's going to play d5, I'm going to play c4, I'm going to play knight f3, and test whatever he plays there. I had an idea, so I'm not going to reveal what I wanted to test there. And he played knight f6. So I was thinking, all right, so I know the main continuation is c4. So after c4, he can play g6 because couple of times Alexander has been playing the King's Indian defense as well, or maybe he plays e6. But I'm thinking, could it be that there's still a possibility to persuade my opponent to play the Slav? So I'm playing knight f3, inviting him to play d5. He plays d5. I'm thinking, success, right? Now I play c4. If you play now c6, we transposed my prep. He plays e6. I'm like, here we go. I mean, I don't really have anything super serious against this line. Obviously, the main line here is knight c3, but I have to admit, lately I am strangely influenced by what Magnus Carlsen said about this position. That he said that at the competitive level, the c5 line, the semi-Tarrasch, is a dead draw after bishop b5. I think he said it in one of the interviews. Maybe actually the one I gave him, because I was doing a one-day commentary for Champions Chess Tour. I got to interview Magnus, and yeah, maybe this is where he said it. Somehow I remember he said it. And ever since, I'm a bit afraid to play this knight c3. What if Magnus is right? And then I remember there was this very spectacular game that Dommaraju Gukesh played against Ding Liren in the World Championship match, and I thought, why not give it a try? But the point is, I already had played it before. I had played it exactly in Bundesliga earlier in December. So essentially this is 2 times a charm, right? So I already played it once, I won the game, but this time my opponent is a bit better. So e takes on d5, now I play knight c3. Now there's no c5, because I just either take it or play g3, and we no longer get the Semislav. What Semislav? Semitaresh. So he played c6. I play queen c2 because black wants to play bishop f5, and he couldn't really do it immediately because then I play queen b3, and there's some problems with this pawn. I want to play bishop g5. There's some problems with the pawn on d5. So he has to play c6. Now I stop bishop f5, g6. So far, we're repeating the game. Gukesh, Dingleran, game 3. I played h3. I had already played myself back in December. He played bishop f5, which is one of the main moves, but actually there's many moves. And if you would switch on the engine says you can even afford to play h6 and it's equal, which just makes no sense. Why would somebody play h6? So he played a bishop f5, kicking my queen away. I play queen b3, attacking the pawn on b7. He played queen b6. I play g4. I'm playing exactly like Gukesh. He plays queen b3 exactly like Dingleran. And after 8x on b3, now bishop e6 was Motolov's rather quick choice. So in the game of Gukesh against Ding, the former world champion played bishop c2, followed by bishop f4. And now the trick is that this pawn is actually pretty dangerous to accept, because white plays knight e2, and if you play bishop c2, this bishop is trapped, you see? Just like that, you can trap pieces in the middle of the board. And also, if you try to play bishop c4, white just takes it here, and I think it's like e4, but I'm not entirely sure. Like e4, bishop c4. Wait, I think it was the e3. Yeah. e3, and if there's b5, then knight b5, c6, and b5, bishop g2, and white is winning. So there's definitely a lot of tricks, but Motolov played bishop e6, and I thought, yeah, sure, he knows everything here, right? I mean, he is highly decorated chess coach, so he probably already has analyzed all of these lines in detail. Maybe what I did was not really smart, but okay, whatever. I'm still playing with white. I'm going to figure it out. So, I play bishop f4, which I think actually is a novelty of this position, but a very logical one. And I thought that if he's going to play like knight e4, with some ideas to play bishop e4 and applying some pressure, I could play knight e5 and try to play f3. So let's say he goes here, I play f3, and even if he trades it, he fixes my pawn structure. I have one pawn island, he has two pawn islands, and I'm slightly better. So I thought. So this position definitely is pretty much alive. He played knight e7, and I thought this is definitely an inaccuracy, because now I play knight g5. And to reveal what was part of my prep against Motolov, it was not really a long one, because I prepare for games like 10 minutes mainly, and I'm going for leagues, just to familiarize myself with the opponent's play. One of the goals for me was to get the minimal advantage in the openings, which is the two bishops, the bishop pair. So that's why I was pretty happy to see this, like, oh, even if I don't figure it out, at least I'm getting two bishops. Until my opponent very quickly, he played like h5, like in 1 minute. I was like, bummer. This is still prep. So apparently what I'm playing, he still knows this. This was not very encouraging. So I was thinking what to do. Now, my pawn on g4 is under attack, and I cannot play f3. He's just going to take it, and you see, because of the spin on h1, I cannot take back the pawn, like f takes, and bishop g4, I'm losing a pawn. So I'm thinking, okay, there's at least two choices. I can take on e6 and play rook g1, or I can play knight e6 and play g5. And my gut instinct says this has got to be the right choice. So I play g5. He has only one real move, knight g8. Otherwise, knight e4 just pulls his pawn structure beyond recognition. So I thought I could play h4. He plays knight e7. I play bishop h3, hitting the pawn. He plays here. I play e3. He plays here. And I thought at some point, probably I'm going to take on f5. So g takes on f5 creates me a strong pass pawn at the king side. Probably not very good. So he plays here. And I looked at this position for a moment. and I couldn't figure out if I have anything real here. I mean, I thought, okay, I can put my knight on f4 and apply some pressure, but everything is protected. Black plays a6 and he has literally built a brick wall. So most likely what I need is a pawn play. And the only pawn play I can think of is f3 e4, which maybe is not even gonna work. So I decided not to pursue this line. The second idea I was thinking, probably I need to be more aggressive. And what about something like e4? Because I know that sometimes in similar positions you have to be very aggressive. So he plays knight e7, I play a long castle, he plays here, I play like h4, and if he, let's say if he plays king f7, I play bishop h3, etc. And I'm trying to apply some pressure, but I realized one thing. Even though maybe objectively my position is good, I have to play very dynamically, very aggressive. Otherwise, I'm simply going to get worse. I have so many positional weaknesses, and if my initiative is going to die out, then I'm simply worse. And I was thinking, should I go play like this? But again, this is the Sunday game. I'm a bit sleepy. I don't really want to do this. And I'm thinking, no, I mean, this is not so clear. So I decided not to play g5, and I played rook g1, and later, as it turns out, this was the right choice. After I checked with an engine, this is the right choice, this is the correct move, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. So apparently I stopped at the wrong moment. Now, if I had figured out that the knight belongs on d3, which, by the way, is a pretty easy thing to figure out because it resembles the Caspet structure. Check out this line. What I did not understand from afar, that if I get to play b4, I'm having pretty serious pressure. And this is something that Motolyov pointed out after the game. This is, by the way, not so clear, but by the way, maybe it's still okay for black. If black plays like this, I go here, and I still need to figure out a way to crash through. Maybe there's some positional pawn sacrifice like king d3, king d3, f3, e4, etc. I enjoy some space advantage, but ultimately, maybe black is just holding on. Either way, this was the best attempt. Yeah, to put the knight on d3 and then toy with this knight c5 idea, I just did not understand it. Now I know it. So what I did in the game after this h5, and I spent like 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, my brain was not working, so I played first rook g1, which, by the way, is very similar to what Gukesh played in the game against Dingler, game 3. He also played rook g1 in some lines, so I thought in the worst case I'm just repeating the world champion's moves. So he took on g4. Now I looked for a moment, can I play a gambit with f3, with bishop h5, and again, I was not sure if I want to put myself in such a situation, even considering he can just go back and give up a pawn on g6, and he has no weaknesses. So I thought, okay, whatever. It's time to take on e6 and take here. So when I saw this position, I was pretty sure it's probably equal, and I expected that he has to play e5 at some point. So he would play like king f7, I play e3, he prepares to play e5, I go here, he plays e5, he plays here, and now I play like g5, I want to play rook h1, apply some pressure against the pawn on g6, let's say this, and I was thinking there might be something like I'm going to play e4 at the right moment, I have two bishops, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, this was really wishful thinking. I thought I'm achieving my goals of the opening, and now came the move. He played a6. And can you imagine this? This little move scared me like nothing else. And you know why? I realized he wants to play c5, not e5. And it changes a lot. So I was thinking, so if I play like this, and he plays c5, what do I do? Because he wants to take on d4 and ruin my pawn structure. I'll have a lot of pawn islands. So if I go knight b5 and knight d6, looks very tempting, but he plays knight e4. I'm completely underdeveloped. Actually, I don't know where to put the bishop. Like bishop before g5, I already need to trade one of the bishops away, and he's just better developed. So I thought I cannot do this. I cannot play knight b5. But what do? If I take on c5, he plays knight c5. The pawn is weak, so he might even put the knight on e4. It's a very easy game for black. The king goes to f7, a very easy move. And I thought, okay, maybe I have to allow him to take on d4. Like I play bishop d3, now he's gonna take it and play like bishop g7, king f7, rook c8, knight b8, knight c6, and this pawn is an easy target. So, okay, actually I'm blundering the pawn on g6, so probably I'm starting with king f7, and let's say like this, and here, and yeah, like rook c8, and here, and knight b8, and here, and knight c6. And I was looking at this and trying to figure out, is this even playable? You know, I want to play like knight f4, he can always play knight e7, and it feels like a perfect French defense position for black. So, yeah, this move really scared me, this a6, because, like I already said, I wasn't expecting c5, only e5. So I played e3, I was thinking, okay, whatever. Yeah, so after c5, probably I'm going to play like bishop d3, and maybe I'm slightly worse. He played king f7, he offered me a draw. I was like, wow, okay. I mean, this is not really a big surprise, because it's very common in team matches with the black color to offer a draw, like for a team with 8 boards. So every single team for a particular match consists of 8 boards. The black color, when you have an equal opponent, normally draw is considered to be a good result because white is trying to strike. And I had like half an hour less on the clock. I had burned like a lot of time. I had 45 minutes left. He had 1 hour and 15, and I don't like my position, so I thought for like a minute, sure, yeah, let's agree to a draw. So we played a draw, and the match was very tense. Yeah, so again, we were playing against direct competitors. At the moment, it looked like we have, in football language, we have 2 very good chances to score a goal. So 2 players were having excellent chances to win the game, and one of them like half a chance. So 2.5 chances, while our opponents had 1 chance. Like one of them was seriously pressing and everybody else was finishing a draw. Guess what, how the match finished? They scored the only goal, and we didn't score any goal whatsoever. So we lost the match. It was actually quite painful. We lost the match 3.5 against 4.5. And yeah, maybe in the hindsight, had I known, I would have continued to play on, but I just did not really like my position. I was lower on the time. Again, as you say, after the game, everybody's smart. So if I had made a draw which secured a victory ultimately for the team, everybody would have said what a smart choice I made. Either way, my opponent played well. You know, it was very funny. After the game, I talked with Motylev, and there was no deep prep. So he was improvising. What he said to me is that he did not even remember what did they play in the World Championship match. Was it really g4? Was it bishop e6? Was it bishop c2? So he was laughing and saying that he did not really recall the moves they were playing. And when I was playing against him, I was under the influence that definitely he knows this and then some. Anyway, it was a fun game, and I missed maybe half a chance with his g5 having some pressure, but really nothing serious. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, as usual, please press like because it helps for my YouTube algorithm. And if you're not yet a subscriber, I really need you as a subscriber for my channel. It allows me to grow as a content creator. I'll be making definitely more videos. One of the next weekends, I'm traveling for more games. Actually, this spring, I'll play in quite a bit of international chess leagues. So, thanks for watching. Signing off.